In the big interview of the day, Beverly White spends a happy day with the Natty Nawab to figure out what happens in his ideal happy ending.
Happily ever after and happy endings may have meant the same thing once a long time ago, when Prince Charming still existed. But thanks to a Natty Nawab, we're guessing the term happy ending will never quite be said without tongue firmly in cheek. But while happy ending may cause a snigger, happily ever after is a whole different matter.
I don't know if we can have a happy ending, because if it's coming to an end, then it's not happy.
So happily ever after also.
After, I think it's not really, it can't really exist. But at the same time, I think there's a potential for happiness in everything. But you got to be on your toes. It's a lot of hard work.
It is, isn't it? It's so much better to just believe in happy ever after.
It's like, it really makes it sound tiring.
It is tiring.
Dude,
people
how many
shouldn't be so
more
demanding.
years till we die?
People shouldn't be demanding.
Okay, this is going into a really
Maybe
deep
it's a zone.
dark zone.
Maybe it's a zone, you know, happily ever after. This
Yeah.
is when you wound up the story and the prince kisses the princess, she wakes up and they lived happily ever after. with bits of stress or whatever.
then what?
But,
Yeah.
With bits of stress. No, in fact, I think in a newspaper today, there was an article about how there are all these couples who are going to live happily ever after. When you said it, and you and Kareena were one of them, I was like, wow, that's a lot
I
of pressure.
read it and I quaked in the morning. I said, finished now. This is it.
I was like, talk
from
about
nazar
jinxing
to
it.
curses, I mean, Jesus Christ.
You better live happily ever after.
It dooms relationships. You see so many relationships that are the poster boy relationships for happiness, and you know,
In fact, I wasn't sure whether to.
Very unhappy woman somewhere.
No, in fact, I didn't even want to bring it up because I didn't know whether you should even. Because I was like, wow, that's got to be a lot of pressure, and I just want to be honest about it
But
and
we
say
don't
that.
take the pressure. We just think that the press on some levels is ridiculous, selling stories to people who are buying symbols, you know. They make you into symbols of things which nobody wants to be. And I don't know how you get that tag. I mean, of course you can be a symbol for, you know, having a healthy relationship or being brave to, you know, stick up for what you believe in. That's okay. But nobody has a perfect, relationship. Nobody can live up to that kind of pressure that these guys...
I have so much more respect for you that you actually admitted that just now.
They should write an article about people who dare not break. I don't think Kareena and I fall into that bracket. We're both very individual and quite cool in that sense. We're not bothered really what people think in that term. But that would be an interesting list. People who are too petrified of their public image to break up.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But if that makes Saif sound like a cynic, he makes a quick clarification. Yes, Saif does seem more than happy with his partner, and talking of partners, we couldn't help but wonder where Govinda was. Your kind of sense of humor and Govinda, that was a good save, by the way, very good save. We got that nod essentially, so it's all good. But Saif's like, oh no.
No, it's true. Because I mean,
You're blushing.
If you keep promoting together, people will think it's like a two-hero kind of partner type comedy, which it's actually not.
No, I don't think anyone's going to think it's a partner. But while Govinda and Saif seem perfect comic foils for each other, there's perhaps no one who brings out Saif's funny side quite like, well, Saif himself. Saif's double role in the film has everybody asking just who is Yogi, the bearded guitarist with a penchant for the quirky.
Shut up, I'm not old.
What's Yogi all about?
I think, you know, I'll tell you one thing, I'll tell you the truth. We weren't sure really. Honestly, I tell you, that's the clue. We really weren't sure. We weren't sure who he is. There's a couple of explanations, and we've shot a couple of explanations. So it's actually up to them which one they keep.
Yes, it looks like we're far from the end of the surprises in store when it comes to happy ending. NDTV Bureau Report.